After Tommy Gunn lost his fight to Rocky Balboa, George Washington Duke sought to bring down the Italian stallion himself while being possessed with the powers of Jason Voorhees.
Only in America.
Jesse Shade here for Awfully Good Movies on behalf of the JoBlo YouTube network. And after many years in legal hell, everyone's favorite hockey mask wearing is coming back from the dead for next year's Peacock and A24 streaming series, Crystal Lake, as well as this year's internet short film, Sweet Revenge, which is actually just a glorified commercial for Angry Orchard Hard Cider, as part of plans for a multimedia franchise known as the Jason Universe. Call me as skeptical of these plans as I was for those of the Dark Universe, but stranger things have happened for Jason and the Friday the 13th franchise after Paramount Pictures sold them following the disappointment of Jason Takes Manhattan to the house that Freddy built, New Line Cinema, who took Jason to a location that was only slightly worse than that of late 80s era Manhattan, hell, in what was promised to be the final Friday, but proved to be anything but. So let's hand things over to our horror expert Tyler Nichols and discuss the greatest disappointment in this franchise until the licensing-related end of the Friday the 13th video game, in this demonically resurrected episode of Awfully Good Movies.
Now, let me state from the jump, I'm a big fan of the Friday the 13th franchise. There's just something about this hockey mask wearing psychopath killing young adults that makes me happy. Please don't call the cops. From Baghead Jason to Bodybuilder Jason, all the way to Zombie Jason. Hell, I even have a soft spot for Jason Takes Manhattan. I just want everyone's favorite mama's boy in a movie, and I tend to be pretty happy if I get it. Except for one time. That time when Paramount decided they didn't want to deal with their redheaded stepchild anymore, and the house that Freddy built picked up the pieces. So with original creator Sean Cunningham on board, what could go wrong? Everything. From a buttworm that possesses people to some of the most uninspired shooting imaginable, this is easily the worst Friday the 13th film ever made. So let's look at how awfully good is Jason Goes to Hell. First off, hi Adam Marcus. I know you watch these things, and I'm going to bash your film a lot in this video, but I get it, you were a young 20-something who just wanted to make movies. I would have jumped at the opportunity as well, but unfortunately we all have to live with our mistakes and some are more public than others. But just know, this isn't personal. Fuck this movie, fuck it in its stupid face. I hate every element of this film to a degree that it's the only entry in the series that I don't watch on a regular basis. Jason gets hardly any screen time, and when he does, he looks like someone put him in the microwave. But what made me hate this even more is when I watched this little movie called The Hidden and realized that Jason Goes to Hell ripped off the main conceit of the film. See, The Hidden follows an alien parasite that takes over human beings and turns them into violent criminals. The alien jumps from host to host and does so in a very familiar way. And hell, even the score sounds similar. But rather than a soulless husk of a person, this guy's got some personality. He, or she, loves rock music and driving fast cars. Jason Goes to Hell is about Jason getting blown up, this coroner eating his heart, and Jason proceeding to jump from body to body via buttworm. Because that's what I want from my Friday the 13th movie, barely any Jason. Both movies were released by New Line Cinema, and The Hidden was actually directed by Nightmare on Elm Street 2 director Jack Shoulder. All things considered, it's an infinitely better movie than Jason Goes to Hell, because it's actually original and not trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Plus, it's got Kyle MacLachlan, and as we all know, you can't get better than Dale Cooper.
This is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
And I should note that if you're going to watch any version of this misfire, at least make sure it's the unrated one, as it gives us just a bit more violence. The movie starts off by following this lady in the most dimly lit exteriors I've ever seen. We can pretty much just see the headlights and there's nothing to the world around her. Like, just look at this shot of the lake. What is this? Then can we just break down the logic of all of this? This lady, who turns out to be an FBI agent, is going to Camp Crystal Lake to set up a trap, and she does so in the dumbest of ways, practically begging to be murdered. Who takes a shower in this situation? Pretty sure Jason would have just showed up if you decided to make some food in the kitchen. That's kind of what he does. He doesn't just go for people at their most vulnerable. I think his checklist goes, is this person on my land? Is this person alone? Then must kill. And she really just survives due to poor dumb luck. Jason gets the jump on her and she just falls over the banister and lands on a table. Like seriously, what was your plan here? She runs outside to the ambush, which just leads to even more questions. How did Jason not notice all these lights or these SWAT guys setting up? It seems like that's something that wouldn't have slipped past him. And I know we all hate how vocal Michael Myers is in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, but this gives him a run for his money. I mean, just listen to this. I've never heard so much awkward grunting in my life. And can we talk about his look here? Dude is suffering from the worst infection imaginable. I know people give Uber Jason shit, but this is the worst look that Jason has ever had. He's supposed to be an undead killing machine, not an alien that looks like the illegitimate love child between Krang and Fat Paintball Jason. He gets blown up and the day is saved, until this coroner decides that he's hungry and needs some delicious heart to satiate his appetite. And to think this could have all been avoided if this guy with the pizzas had just arrived a little bit sooner. Though I do get a kick out of Kane Hodder, who obviously plays Jason in this film, essentially making fun of the character.
You want nothing but a big old pussy anyway.
Get it? Because he's the one that plays him and it's ironic? Oh, you clever boy. They make Jason into Michael Myers light, trying to go after his half-sister, who we're just finding out about in this movie, because of course we are. Here's hoping Diana is mentioned in Crystal Lake. Just kidding, please don't do that. No one wants that nonsense. Ignore this film. Jason can only be reborn if he enters a relative, so he's after Diana. There's also a weird love triangle, if you can even call it that, going on between Diana's daughter Jessica, her baby daddy Steven, and her current boyfriend Robert. And it's so pointless, with Robert being a total dickhead from minute one. Steven is out of the picture for some reason, and even gets blamed for the murder of Diana at one point. Now let's talk about the Creighton Duke of it all. This man is easily the best part of the movie, but he's also absolutely insane. When he's asked what he thinks of when he hears the name Jason Voorhees, this is his response.
Well, that makes me think of a little girl in a pink dress, sticking a hot dog through a donut.
What in the unhinged nonsense is this? He's always lurking around and seems to know a lot more about Jason than would even be feasible. But he's also such an asshole.
She is only your lady because she ain't had a taste of the Duke yet.
Okay, he's amazing, but he's still an asshole. Like when he breaks Steven's fingers in order to get information out of him, and ultimately he's all bark and no bite, as he really doesn't do much of anything once he's actually confronted by Jason. He just gets his ass kicked and his spine crushed. It's a shame, but we can't really cover the best sequence in the movie in any significant way. YouTube is being run like a church lately, and the slightest hint of sex is treated like the worst thing you can do. But it's an amazing scene and one of the only moments that actually feels like a Friday the 13th. Unfortunately, it lasts all of 5 minutes, and the rest of the time we're treated to stuff like this.
Nobody's gonna touch that fucking ray of sunshine!
None of the non-tent deaths has any impact and are pretty damn lame. I'm not sure why you wouldn't try to make this more of a special effects spectacle, especially since we don't really get Jason. In terms of different Jason bodies in this, we get the opening coroner, the TV news guy, 2 sheriffs, and finally Diana, who gets buttwormed in the worst of ways, but we don't really see her. Not exactly the most intimidating group of characters. And what the hell is the deal with Jason shaving this guy? I've never understood this scene. And no, Marcus's explanation does not help.
There's not a scene like it in any other Jason movie, or really in any other movie I can think of. I don't know if that's good or bad.
And can we also talk about how the rules of Jason's possession completely change by the ending? He doesn't speak a word until suddenly he's talking when he's in the body of this final sheriff. So he's quiet the rest of the time, but he just decides to talk because the audience needs to be tricked. Terrible. We only get real Jason through various mirrors and at the very end of the film. but it's too little too late. Especially since he's not even doing any slicing and dicing. He's just flailing around in the backyard of the Voorhees house. Oh yeah, this is the Voorhees house. Strange choices all around in this one. It's like when they added the Cult of Thorn to the Halloween franchise. It's also an absolute shame that they technically set up Freddy vs. Jason in this movie, with Freddy's glove coming up from the ground and taking it down to hell with him. Otherwise, you could practically just consider this film to be non-canon. And trust me, I do. I can't say enough bad things about this film, and all the strange things that they do in it. This is the most anti-Friday the 13th film ever, with only one scene even feeling appropriate, and the camping sex was added in reshoots. And as a big fan of the franchise, I just can't stomach the many boneheaded decisions going on here, because as much as people call the series plain, it's at least got a style to it. And I can actually see what the hell is happening, which is why I'm giving Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, an F. Every time I say it's going to be my last time watching this movie, I have to make a video on it and suffer through it all over again. But damn it, this is the last time. This will sit on my shelf collecting dust as I watch the real Jason Adventures, where he slams girls against trees and sleeping bags, or makes himself acquainted with Crispin Glover. Because that's my Jason, not this strange alien buttworm.
It's awfully good. It's awfully good.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.